Hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing great, whether it be night or day, wherever you are. If you're new, hi, welcome to the channel. And realms, am I glad that you can join us today for another story that I wrote, which is an Albedo ex-listener. Special thanks to my friend Dazerby who has helped me write this story. And also, links for the music used in this video will be down below, and further announcements will be said after the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Shaky muscles and calculated breaths. How long you have endured such was beyond you, nor how much more ahead. Thus wasn't caused by a multitude of actions, but rather the contrary.
Keep still, I can do this.
You repeated in your head like a mantra, stiffening your body with the most you can manage. Another bead of sweat dripped from your forehead, and such wasn't caused by the faint glow of sunlight. Albeit it still bathed you, it wasn't scorching nor a cause of discomfort. That was to say, than if you were subjected under the fiery sun's gaze at noon. As you took another breath, all that can be heard was the silent thumping in your chest, along with the scribbles of charcoal scratching intricate lines over the paper. You averted your eyes in hopes of alleviating you from the growing redness in your cheeks upon being subjected to someone's ocular feast. You sure did not expect any of this to be part of your day. First off, you were simply visiting the teapot to hopefully make a cabinet you recently acquired knowledge of in Inazuma. Safe to say, you were surprised to see Albedo busying himself in his designated workshop.
Oh, traveler. Hello. I heard the sound of footsteps from afar, and now, here you are.
He quipped.
Yeah. For some reason, this place feels fuller.
You mused, although you couldn't quite put your finger on what exactly changed.
Oh, your arrangements in this realm provide an ample amount of inspiration for me. Shall we put them to more practical use?
He quipped, gaze darting to the multitude of cecilia flowers growing before him.
Wait, since when has this even—
Sucrose and I have been conducting some biochemic experiments here to assist with your realm gardening. Judging by the sheer number of cecilia here, I would say it was a huge success. Wouldn't you agree, traveler?
He did hope you would like it, having worked on it for quite some time. He knew he could have just told you about it beforehand, but at every instance that an opportunity to do so arose, so did the creeping sensation causing his avoidance, as if something were lodged at his throat. He found a multitude of excuses. You not being in Mondstadt, nor visiting the teapot. He seemingly never ran out, which was strange, as he wasn't one fond of looking for reasons to avoid a certain matter. Each time he found himself talking to no one in particular, as if trying to prove his case. To himself.
Give me some time. I can conduct some experiments to find out instead.
As promised, numerous research were conducted, yet none proved to be more challenging as finding the cause of this sensation. It wasn't like either of you bore ill will toward the other, so this was a strange anomaly indeed. In truth, he had no need for the extra quantity of flowers, as those that he had gathered before proved more than sufficient for his research. Simply put, the workings of his mind simply passed it off as a mere reward in exchange for your company, such which garnered his, questionable heart rate and momentary vocabulary-related oblivion.
Whoa, this is amazing! I doubt I could even develop something to let these flowers grow here and that quick. And with that sheen.
You trailed, touching the flower. It also didn't seem as fragile as those you found foraging.
I have some leftover potions here and some of the seeds we used. Would you like to try it out yourself?
Try what out?
Albedo smiled as, even though you questioned it, your curiosity evidently seeped through. With your hand already reaching for the bottle, he simply let you figure it out, and with a few shaky drops of the liquid onto the seed, life burst forth, blooming into the ever-familiar shape of the flower.
Whoa, and how, wow.
You babbled, evidently presenting your surprise.
In your company, I never lack inspiration. You're always quite interesting, listener. Although, I suppose I do have a curiosity for things others find surprising.
Albedo smiled.
I didn't know growing flowers was part of your hobbies. With this much, I don't think you'll need to go out for a while to collect more for your research.
That latter is true, but going out into the world and investigating, turning the unknown into the known. I too miss this feeling.
He looked reminiscent for a moment before simply clearing his throat.
That reminds me. Would you oblige me by serving as my assistant?
Hey, in your defense, it seemed like such a small thing to aid Albedo with, right? Especially after all these flowers that he grew for you? Your resolve was also further strengthened by the fact that you got an excuse to let him take a well-deserved break, because Archons know this man is non-stop. You can do this for the sake of research and...
Are you okay, traveler?
His breathy voice cut off your thoughts, soft as velvet, when he asked, making you turn to meet his gaze, such which you have been avoiding for the past minutes? Hours? Archons, you haven't got a clue anymore. Even further, you were pretty sure that time flowed differently and in its own accord within the realms of the teapot. You had to applaud Sucrose for being able to handle this man's presence and still get most of the job done without overheating. Hey, albeit you weren't one easily flustered, you doubted anyone wouldn't be such after being left under his gaze for quite some time. stop lying.
I'm fine.
You try to utter with the utmost confidence you can manage, whilst keeping still under his gaze. Harken's sakes, you didn't know this task proved more challenging than you initially thought. Still, despite the apparent difficulty and the strain that the position took, you were endeared by the fact that Albedo had even asked you to be his model for a sketch in the first place. He smiled to himself, turning back to his work. You barely wished to breathe as it may disturb the alchemist's drawing, and he would be forced to start all over again, which would render your sacrifice and strain really useless. Or rather, you would like to think such as to not keep your mind on his lingering musings.
Traveler, if you wouldn't mind, please tilt your head to the left. With the sun setting, it's best to have you follow the light.
Albedo smiled once more in request. His initial thoughts proved true. The flowers did serve a magnificent background when he drew you, and the thought made him revel in the hard work of growing them, or rather creating the potion for doing such. Albeit, he was faced with an anomaly once more. His hand, it hadn't stopped shaking since he had arranged the flowers behind you. Why was that? Maybe overwork? Did he simply lack sleep? That too might prove an explanation to the recurring palpitations that coupled these tremors. Sweaty hands. Cold sweat? He was definitely a few symptoms away from a more concerning state. With each glance he took, worry filled him more and more, both at his state and your expression.
What have you?
He quipped, trying to ease out the tension he felt by deviating his mind. It might have simply been the teasing nature of his voice, but you couldn't take it anymore, and finally let out a huff of air that you didn't even know you had been holding. Unfortunately, you weren't the only one surprised when the silent tension broke, as that caused the ash blonde to look at you once more. Shoot, did that disturb him? He let out a small chuckle from the sight, doing a double take here and there, as his fingers finally took a pause at themselves. He placed the drawing utensil down completely as he observed you closer. He also let out a huff, but not one of disappointment, but rather amusement.
You appear to be uncomfortable. I apologize. Actually, you didn't have to assume such a frozen state if it took too much of a toll, traveler. I am quite adept at drawing hilly churls, and they so much as throw care aside when requested such stillness.
He smiled. Wait, did he just... You paused, realizing the chalk prince had unknowingly compared you to a hilly churl. Nonetheless, you smiled, grateful of being relieved of the voluntary prison lowering your limbs, which you had miraculously kept up this entire time. Worry hadn't been mirrored on the former's face, as he knew to prioritize you, simply shrugging it off and continuing his sketch. Although he had to admit, your occasional unpaintable expression was quite the sight indeed.
Oh, thank Arkans. You should have told me that before we started.
You laughed out and obliged. You even managed a yawn before something dawned on you.
I forgot to ask, how long have you been in the teapot?
Oh, I had been here for quite a while. In fact, I much prefer to do my research here and simply gather materials if need be.
You really like to draw, don't you, Albedo?
You quipped, sitting more comfortably this time around the flower-surrounded bench. Realization dawned on you that, albeit the amount of time you two spent together, he was still more a mystery to you than you to him.
Yes. This is a habit of mine I formed a long time ago.
He mused, glancing here and there.
Initially, it was for research purposes. I originally tried to reproduce subjects with a rubbing technique. However, the results were inadequate and lacked spirit.
But failure is a key part to succeeding at research, isn't it? After all, you wouldn't know what to improve on unless you know what your faults are.
Correct. Because after that, I learned how to draw. While refining my artistic skills, I found myself...
He knew you were right, but his mind had further trailed to something else as you stated such.
unconsciously engrossed in drawing.
He said, eyes never leaving you. You, on the other hand, you were looking at the amber-hued clouds, drifting in a slow, peaceful flow.
Is there something else you're interested in?
He paused, then ceased drawing completely as the question caught him off guard.
Anything else?
He pondered as a slight wind gushed past, sending your hair to tickle your face along with the cecilias. He had been engrossed in research, but you already knew that. It took him quite some thinking. What else had been on his mind these days, aside from his research and art?
A genius like you is bound to form countless interests, I presume.
You state.
Genius. A number of people call me that, but I don't think I'm any genius. As for the question, probably you.
He said, with such truth that his own bashfulness had no time to catch up with him, and it had not dawned upon doing such. Albeit the cease in his actions, he kept his eyes on the drawing, as if afraid to meet your gaze at that moment, as he continued.
At first, it was because you carry the aura of the stars, but now, it seems there's more to it.
His face contorted in a familiar manner, which you had seen a multitude of times before when he was in deep thought.
I used to think interactions with others was a waste of time.
Truthfully, he still did. mentally noting how he would brush aside certain people if the subject were not of interest to him.
But after meeting you, I'd rather spend my time on you than other matters.
To make more art? Or to help about in Dragonspine? Of Durin? Or festering desire?
You could say it's a type of desire.
Your flustered state seemed to abolish any of his. Although there was a flush on his cheeks, words seemed to flow out freely this time. That's it. The missing piece.
This unique anomaly. I likely now know the reason why.
Or rather, he knew from the very start, but couldn't comprehend properly. If he had only spoken the truth rather than this, or hiding his intentions and thoughts, he would have found it a lot easier to assess his emotions. He should have known. With creased brows, you were the one lost once more in the myriad of Albedo's puzzling words.
Yes. See, in alchemy we have something called Albedo, which refers to the refining of feeling. I feel the refining of my own emotions is also thanks to you. At first, I had no clue what to do with such, as my master left me with the task of figuring out the truth of this world. But the more time we had spent, I believe that these interactions aren't pointless after all. My truth, I believe, lies with you.
You were flustered at this, but you had to ask.
How so? I would be honored, but it's kind of hard to believe. After all, I myself have no clue what my truth is. I used to think I did, coupled with a strong set of beliefs shared with my sibling, but now I'm simply left with questions.
I see it as merely a quip and a goal, to have found my own meaning. Nonetheless, would you allow me to share in just a little more of your time, while I finalize my hypothesis?
You two shared a smile at this.
Hey, you are always welcome here. After all, I don't think a realm would be too small for the two of us, with you around. You already have a workshop here, and it would be a waste if no one were to use it. So, come by anytime.
Albedo's eyes widened slightly, amused by your stammering as both of you realized the depth of your words. His truth. Although he might have no knowledge of its whole yet.
I seem to have fallen for you.
This was one he was certain of at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Couldn't comprehend properly. Oh, that is not.
Put them more to. Shall we put them? I did this so smoothly last time.
He smiled to himself.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
To be his model in a sketch for a first. What? I messed that sentence up so bad.
Okay. It's easy for him, he's monotone.
Okay, whatever.
Judging by the Really?
Life burst forth. That is a tongue twister.
Traveler, I will draw you like one of my French girls from Fontaine. Let me just paint you.
Hand already.
Sucre's just like breaks glasses and whatever vial she happened to be holding. Blah, blah, blah. How dare you with Mr. Albedo?
and momentary vocabulary-related oblivion. Realms, that is a mouthful.
If it was too much of a blah, blah, blah. No.
Nor visiting the teacup. Teapot. Where did the teacup come from?
I'm getting too much into here. Like, I'm a sleepy alchemist. Just let me sleep.
That's a lot of chickens. I have 2 more lines. Please let me finish this.
I am adept to there. While I finalize my own hypothesis. I am quite adept at drawing hilichurls, and they so much as wait. Oh no, it's the line that is my downfall. Let me just scroll down here again. Albedo, you talk so friggin' much. I had no clue I am quite adept at drawing hilichurls, and they so much. Wait, that was it. No. And they so much as and they so much as throw care aside when. And they so much as throw care aside when. And they throw their own stuff. Okay. I can't help it. You inspire bad things. Wait, no. Is that what I meant? You inspire bad decisions, traveler. Okay. In fact, I much rather tongue tie. Okay. That one was worse. Wait, yeah, let me try to be smoother on that part. I just realized I'm like, oh wait, I'm flirting. Wait a minute. Oh no. Oh, okay, no worries. I just had a bit of my booth just fall on me, so. Wait, and the what? I kind of want to keep the chuckle in there though, so that's okay. Kind of insinuating, but it works for him. It works for him. I had no clue what to do with such, as my master never left me with the task of figuring out the truth of this world. Wait, what? I'm not allowed. Wow. Let me try that again.
Okay, so that was it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, as I do post twice a week. And if there are any extra noises that I couldn't clean out, that is because of the construction and roadwork happening near our house right now. And, yeah. Oh, again, links are in the description down below. And also, my Discord tag is in the About page of my YT to those who want to interact. So I guess feel free to do so, and cause I'm mostly on there. And also, if you have any original stories that you would like me to read and or submit or make as a base story, or maybe you have requests for some characters or scenarios in mind, just feel free to DM it to me and or place it in the comments down below, and I would definitely love to read them, hopefully making good stories out of them as well, and doing them justice. Okay, that is really it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, stay hydrated, stay safe, bye!